Hello.
Hello, were you just speaking German when I walked in?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
As you should. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Cool. The summer is kind of gone, but I mean, it's still here, but it's okay.
Yeah,
We
come
got
on. If you're
rain.
talking about autumn in Lisbon,
We got rain for one day this week. I'm like, what is this?
we had one day without rain the last 2 weeks. So,
You come back.
yeah.
We good to go?
Yeah.
All right. First up on the agenda, 12.5 planning update. And if it's really echoey, I'm sorry. But 12.5 planning update. Where are we in terms of uh, weights and capacity? It all probably needs to be locked in today, right? Because the milestone starts Friday.
Yeah. So, so I like updating that issue. So I updated the issue, the sprint planning issue. So I'm pulling it up now. So the capacity that we have is, I think, 19. I say think because Mark isn't here. I just got back and I haven't had a chance to talk to Mark, and I won't be able to get anything from him until tonight. So that's the capacity. The issues, we might need to move some issues. Well, I've moved some issues to 12.5, and I'm assuming that's okay because they're not going to make 12.4, or should I have kept them in 12.4 and just let them slip? I wasn't sure.
If we didn't start them, it's okay to move them to 12.5.
Some of them have been started, but
I mean, either way, it's probably fine to move them to 12.5.
okay. So I would say that I've updated the issue board with the weights for 12.5 for the new items and the items that are definitely slipping from 12.4.
So if I'm looking at, let me just do this. So the backend column for the 12.5 release has everything in it?
Yes, as of now, there's a few items that are in review in 12.4 that I'm not sure about, if they're going to be finished in 12.4, and then there's one item that I'm still not sure about. So if I wasn't sure about it, I left it in 12.4. The things that I know are going to slip, I've moved to 12.5 already. And there's a 12.5 item that might have to go to 12.6. The step
Yeah,
3.
I
The
saw your
step,
comment on that.
yeah. But so far, I've moved everything that I know is going to slip.
Okay, so we're not over by that much, at least on the backend side then. Just a couple. And there's one that's not weighted at all.
Is that technical discovery? Let me see which one that is.
No, oh, it's a community contribution. That's why it's not.
Oh yeah, that one, and it's in review. I gotta check with Fran on that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we're not actually that bad. And if step 3 moves, then we're a little bit under.
I don't know Mark's capacity yet, though, so I think my capacity is correct.
Okay. Okay.
And the assumption is that everything in 12.4 that's in review and verification are gonna go through smoothly.
Right. Okay. What about on the front end side, Andre?
Yeah, so I'm currently going through the planning stage. I'm a little behind, but I should have some news later today. From what I took a look briefly on the board and I saw what's in there. It doesn't seem, if we are over capacity, it doesn't seem like we're a lot, but I need to dive in to give you proper feedback on that. So I will update the issue later today, at most tomorrow morning from my side, which will be your dawn. So by tomorrow morning when you wake up, we should have a concrete list of things that might not make it, that we have to move. But yeah, so by tomorrow morning I should have that. I will only do the assignments on Friday. I'm wondering how's the kickoff being done this milestone? Who knows?
Are you like my kickoff components of it?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out what's going to make it. So it doesn't look like we have any like editor, because most of this is locked up in like that admin UI doesn't have anything that's going to make it into kickoff.
So I'm talking about the call that you do, the videos, that sort of thing for 12.5.
Yeah, I mean,
you're talking about
typically
it's
for
not
that.
shipping.
Yeah, typically for that, we only talk about like direction items, right? So that's like major
Ah.
features that drive direction forward. And because all of that
Right.
is the admin UI, there is nothing else
Okay.
that is happening. The only, yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that's happening that is a direction item.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I missed that part about the direction label. Then yes, I'll be sending some feedback later today. By tomorrow, I'm still in source code land. I'll be moving to editor after, and then knowledge. So by tomorrow morning, I hope to have both 3 concluded. So
Okay,
I'll keep you posted. I'll post through the issue.
Yeah, and ping me in Slack. I'm off Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
So I'm off after today for the rest of this week and won't be back until Monday. So if there is anything I need to look at or move around, like it's probably going to be next week before I get back to it.
For me, that's not really a big deal because I'll only assign the ones that fit on Friday, and if we just have to deal with the excess on Monday, that's fine for me from my side.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
That works for me on that one. The next one was release post. So for editor, and I think again because of the admin UI, there's not anything like direction items, so I don't think we'll have anything in the features for the release post. For performance items, there was a bunch of search improvements, and my understanding of performance items is that engineering managers add performance notes to the release post.
So I need to write something up?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up.
That was my, that was kind of my point.
That wasn't obvious, Kai.
Well, I thought I would add it here and then we could talk about it. Yeah, so it's I think that's true. And I don't know if Andre, if you've ever had to do that on the front end side.
I was gonna mention, I've done this like in the old release post format. We would just have a section that would be for performance improvements, and we just like link them, the issues. So I don't know how it's like in the new format because I've seen some changes. Same way.
Yeah, I think like the engineering managers get pinged and then they add it all that way. So
yeah, I was pinged. I got that ping. You should have that ping too, Darva.
Okay.
They pinged the backend and the So Fabian pinged us, so it should be there. I'm gonna put the link.
Okay.
In there.
For my emails and my to-dos, so I'll take a look.
There we go. So I just added the link there to the doc. Okay. At least that's the ping I got. So I guess that's where we'll be adding those performance improvements.
Okay, thanks for that.
It should be added by tomorrow, though. So.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, we can move to the next item. I think I already said this. Things are going to slip. It's all documented in the sprint planning issue. Kai, if you have any questions about why things are slipping, you can ask me now, or you can ask me later. And Kai, I know you had mentioned to me, you have reached out to me via an issue about the audit, the user supplied input issue, and Fran did document a lot of items that need to be fixed. I will be talking to Tim tomorrow to see how he wants to distribute the workload. And Kai, did you have any questions about that? You're on mute, Kai. Not sure if you're talking.
So these are about search, right?
These are, I think it's related to search. There's code changes that have to be made across the code base.
Mhm.
And
Actually, it's not just search, it's various things.
okay.
Yeah.
Also search, but also other stuff.
And they don't actually have owners. They don't have a home. So we didn't know who was supposed to do them. Since Fran identified them, I just had them assigned to the editor group for now. And I will talk to Tim about how to distribute the changes. All right, so we can move on to Marcus.
Yeah, this is just an FYI about the strange workflow we are doing for the step 2 of the administration UI. So we are using like a temporary branch as our master, basically. We are merging other merge requests into this one. I'm not sure, I think we've discussed this with Kai before. I'm not sure if you were aware about this. But yeah, it just complicates like some of the issues, like we can't close them until everything's released. Just so you're aware.
I like the idea of adding them to 12.5 as a weight 0 so that we know they're still there and they're being tracked. I don't, I'm assuming Kai's okay with it, but you can let us know if he's not.
Is he still on the call?
I don't know. I'm going to check my Slack.
He's back.
If he's
Hello. Sorry.
yeah.
Where are we at?
Did you miss the discussion?
I just came back. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So I just mentioned this thing about the temporary branch that we have for the step 2. I'm not sure if you were aware of this.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, just to mention that it complicates some of the, like we can't close the issues until the full administration UI is released. Yeah.
I responded to that. I was wondering if it makes sense to like close the work issues and then let's create like a follow-up verification issue, because we're going to have like otherwise you're going to have to roll step 2, step 3, step 4, all of them, and just keep rolling them through each milestone, which is going to make like planning a little bit of a nightmare and like the work look harder. So I wonder if we can just do like let's just do like follow-up issues for verification on each of these. And then like just like create one master one and put like a task list in the issue description that like links to the other issue and is like verification of this, and then like put a person's name next to it. And then like people can just check that off or something at the end.
I think that's a good idea, yeah. Especially if it makes the planning for you easier. And I think it will. Yeah. So will you create the follow-up issue?
I can, or if Darva, if you're able to create a follow-up issue, that would be helpful.
All right. So we're going to close the issue then?
I think we should close the issues that represent the engineering effort that was done. Okay. And create a new issue that is like a verification issue, because these are supposed to stay open until you can verify, but we can't verify. I think otherwise we just end up taking all these issues and just moving them like to each milestone, which just doesn't make sense. It'll look like we didn't do anything for like 4 milestones too, right? Like if we don't close anything.
The weight just goes down, but yes, it's not obvious.
Yeah.
I asked on our agenda, is this behind a feature flag? Because maybe if it is, maybe it makes sense having that feature flag removal be the last verification step.
So unfortunately it's not, and we already started moving stuff around. And yeah, I guess it would be better if we use the feature flag from the beginning and then just duplicated the code and then remove the old code at the end. But it's too late for that, unfortunately. And just to make sure I understood Kai correctly, so we'll create one overall issue for the verification and just list the other issues, right?
I think so. I think one verification issue at the end, and that way it's like either one or maybe all the engineers go back and look and like verify individual components, because it's going to take front end is going to have to do some verification, back end is going to have to do some verification, right? Because no one's going to be able to see any of these features actually all working together until kind of all of the steps and branches are all merged into one mega branch that has to have a merge request opened, and some reviewer and maintainers are gonna be not thrilled, maybe. I'm not sure. Cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay. All right, Kai, I'm not sure if you were on the call when I was talking about the audit, user input audit results that Fran worked on. He created several issues and assigned them to the editor. And you were asking about
yeah, I think we should just ask Tim. I think let's see what Tim wants to do with them, because it's not, I'd say it's unreasonable to like put the expectation on us to deal with them.
right.
I think that's like a, Tim should either decide or run that back up through the rest of engineering to decide.
All right, so that's the plan tomorrow to talk to him. And the next item is me. So last meeting, I talked about creating a playlist for our meetings. And then I went to the playlist and I noticed that there weren't a lot of teams with weekly update playlists in the YouTube Unfiltered. So I wasn't sure if we wanted to do that or not.
I would vote yes. And by default, yes, but we can exclude specific episodes that we mention confidential things. Sometimes we discuss client stuff, which is not the case of this one, I think. So in those cases, we can just like publish. But if we do mention something that is critical, we just mention at the end, all right, don't publish this. So it should be a manual process, not automated, that any of us could just like take the responsibility of uploading after this is compiled and recorded.
So you don't think it'll be too noisy to have, because we'll have like a lot of videos over time. You don't think that'll be too bad?
No, it's actually the opposite. So, and actually that's what they mentioned on the YouTube handbook page is that the more you publish, the more it's there and you can reference it, you can link to a particular discussion, and having that available will only promote easier communication and easier attendance than having to go to Google Drive and get that. And it's just like easier experience, but also it's not about the volume, because for example, Plan is sharing that, and only if you're looking for a particular episode or something will you look for it, but also it increases visibility of what we're discussing here. And I think there's, for our transparency value, that's just benefits. We have to be mindful of the risks of confidentiality being breached there. That's the only thing I'd be concerned. But no, I don't think the noise will be a problem.
Do you think the episode should be titled something so that, you know?
Nah, just a week.
Weekly. Okay.
Yeah, it can be. So Plan is doing just Plan weekly team meeting. So as long as we keep it consistent, it should be fine. We can add the date to the title, but that's on the date itself. So I wouldn't sweat. It's just like fire and forget. It's available. Just check if we should fire it or not before firing. Any other thoughts? That's just my view.
Yeah, I agree. I think that makes sense. We should just do all of them. I was checking this one to actually see if the release board had any confidential issues in it.
Sometimes we could have confidential conversations and not necessarily issues.
And we should have them. We shouldn't stop having them because it's published. We should stop publishing in that case.
Yeah.
So yeah, on that case, we can look at the recording, because Kai shared the screen a little bit, and if there are any confidential issues, what we can do is just publish it private, and you have to be with GitLab Unfiltered account to see it, or not publish it at all. It depends on what's exposed.
Yeah.
Kai, do you think we should just publish it and publish it private instead of not publishing it all, just so that we have one place that we go to instead of the Google Drive?
Yeah, I think it's fine. When there's stuff that's confidential, yeah. There's nothing confidential in this one, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, I'll set it up.
Thanks,
Perfect.
everyone.
Thanks,
Have a good
everyone.
day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.